Hey guys, Jim Kielbaso here, and I wanted to do a little bit of a Q&A session because I've been getting a bunch of questions emailed to me, and a lot of them this time around seem to be around speed training. Maybe it's the NFL Combine coming up, or it's just that time of year, but several of them have something to do with speed training. And right before I was getting ready to do this, I decided, hey, if we're getting all these questions on speed training, um, let's run a special on some of our speed training information. So I am going to right after this, and I should be able to put this into an email for you, but watch for it. We're going to send out a promo code that you can get an awesome deal on our two big speed training products, the Speed and Agility certification and our speed testing mastery course. So I'll tell you more about that because some of these questions have to do with those two products. So I'm going to jump into this so that I can answer the questions that were sent to me, and hopefully this is going to pertain to a lot of you. So it's not just one person. So here's the first question. I'm a personal trainer and a high school football coach at DePaul Catholic in Wayne, New Jersey. I coach D-line and work with other coaches running our off-season strength and conditioning program. He also coaches at a private training center. I'm always looking for new ideas and training tips for speed, agility, explosiveness, and core strength training to help our athletes as well as my personal training clients. Any suggestions I can receive from other successful coaches such as yourself to help me gain an edge over my competition is welcomed by me. And that's from Reggie. Reggie, I really appreciate this, and I'm glad that people are reaching out to you and that you're doing a lot of work on speed and agility. So to me, the three factors that are going to be involved in your speed training program are going to be force production. So you need to help athletes put more force into the ground. That's going to be done through strength training. So athletes need to get stronger as a component of their speed and agility training program. The second factor is power, or putting that force into the ground as fast as possible. That's going to be done through power type training. So plyometrics, resisted sprinting, so weighted sleds, stuff like that. Explosive training like Olympic lifting or quick lifts and medicine ball training. So that's kind of the second component. And then the third component is going to be applying the force in the right direction. That means mechanics. So you're going to be teaching athletes how to move correctly. And I'm not just talking about how to move like how to squat, like FMS type movements. I'm talking about mechanics, like teaching athletes how to accelerate, teaching them how to decelerate, how to place their feet, how to practice the moves that they're going to be doing or performing in the game or during testing, and get them to do them more efficiently. I spend a ton of time doing that with our athletes, with every athlete that we work with, and that's kind of the overall structure that you should be looking for. Now, I would say that you're going to spend a lot of time working on top end mechanics, but you should definitely spend a lot of time on the shorter distances. So a lot of acceleration, deceleration, and change of direction. Most sports are played in that space. So being able to move quickly, control their body, change directions, accelerate, decelerate, twist, turn, all that kind of stuff, that should be a big part of your program also. You don't have to get ultra fancy. The drills don't have to look like something you'd see on Instagram. They can be basic drills, cone drills, stopping and starting. I mean, even like red light, green light games, playing tag, different tag variations, stuff like that, where athletes are learning how to move their body, control themselves, stop, start, change direction. That's what you're looking for, and teaching them how to do it properly. Now, of course, there's a lot more that goes into it. Athletes have to have the functional ability to move their bodies through space, so you're going to be looking at a lot of things, but that to me is kind of the crux of things. Now, all of that is taught in our Certified Speed and Agility Specialist certification. So if you are looking for a lot more information and a ton of drills and how to teach all those mechanics, it's all in there, and that's why you kind of teed it up for me. Reggie, you kind of started this. This is one of the reasons why we're going to run that special. All right, the next one is very, very similar. I'm preparing high school athletes for summer football camps. I see that Speed Testing Mastery has an 8-week program, and the Speed and Agility Cert is a whole certification. Can I break the program? There's an 8-week program in the Speed Testing Mastery that I believe he's talking about. Can I break the program into 4-week segments, and should I do the certification? From Daryl. First of all, yeah, in Speed Testing Mastery, there is an 8-week program. Obviously, the longer you have to train an athlete to prepare for something, that program is all about testing. So the longer you have before they have to run their 40 or their 60 or whatever they're going to run and get tested on, the better. You're going to have more time. But can you break it into 4 weeks? Yeah, and actually there's a system that it shows you right in the program in Speed Testing Mastery which weeks to take out if you don't have long enough, or which weeks to add if you have more time. It shows you right in there how to manipulate the program. And I understand, I get athletes who they will come to us and they'll say, I have to be ready at such and such a date, and we don't have that much time, or sometimes we have longer, and you need to manipulate that program. No problem. It is all in there. Now, the question, so it sounds like if you're getting ready for summer football camps, Daryl, you're probably getting them ready to run a 40 and maybe do a pro agility shuttle and do a lot of their agility drills. Make sure that you are getting them in really good shape. You probably are. And you're working on all their agility work and position work, because they're going to do all that. They're going to do all their position work. So if you're not real good with each position, make sure that you get with somebody to get that information. But as far as the testing goes, yeah, they're going to need to run a 40, so you're going to want to probably check out the Speed Testing Mastery. Now, your second question was, should I do the certification? That really depends on you. Are you doing this as a professional, or like where you're charging people and you want this to be part of your business and you want to do this for a long period of time? If that's the case, yes, you should definitely do this. A lot of people have gone through this speed certification and they have, they've launched successful businesses or enhanced their businesses. So definitely consider that. If you're doing this because you're working, if you're working maybe at a school with some players that are getting ready and you just need the information, then that's where the Speed Testing Mastery comes in. But Speed Testing Mastery goes into a lot more depth on the actual tests, and in there I break down a lot of video of 40-yard dash, people running 40-yard dash, so you can see exactly what we're talking about. So if you want to do this as something bigger than just helping a few kids for camp, go with the speed certification. And if you're really focused on getting ready for tests, I would go with the Speed Testing Mastery. And like I said, because of these questions, we're going to give you a deal on both of them, and I'll get you more information on that. All right, there's two more that I'm going to go through. One is, I know you train a lot of guys for the NFL Combine. What's the biggest difference between your program and helping high school athletes? From Chuck. So that's a pretty broad question, but that's kind of what got me thinking that maybe it's the NFL Combine prep and Pro Day prep that's kind of piquing people's interest. What's the biggest difference? I'd say the biggest difference is, one, we have more time with these guys. I get to be with them for multiple hours a day, 4 days a week. They're not practicing, they're not doing anything else, and they're really motivated. They know that their careers are on the line and they're super motivated. They all really want to be there. They come to us and they have their own place to live and we feed them. So it's like this whole process that's built around this training program, and it makes the focus very different than training a high school athlete who still has to go to school and probably has sport practice and homework and all these other things. So I'd say that's the biggest difference. a lot of the training components are very similar. I would say that one huge difference is that the athletes getting ready for the NFL have 4 to 5 years of solid strength training experience under their belt. So they have gotten a lot stronger. They have done a lot more work. High school athletes, you can really do them a service by just teaching them how to properly lift weights and giving them time to develop some strength and develop that foundation. Um, as far as like teaching them speed mechanics and getting them faster, everything I mentioned in the first question from Reggie applies. You're going to get them stronger, you're going to get them more explosive, and you're going to teach them speed mechanics, and kind of everything else applies to that. So there are huge differences. A lot of high school athletes also have a strength training program outside of what they're doing with us, so that makes things a little bit different as well. So hopefully that answers that question about what the biggest difference is. I mean, we do a lot of the same things. We just increase the volume, we increase the intensity with the NFL guys, and they get more time to recover and focus on what we're doing. So it's not like we have like whole new exercise, program, and whole new, everything is totally different, and we're doing crazy stuff with these guys. We do bring in our physical therapists that do a lot of work with these guys. That makes a huge difference. So that is probably another difference. All right. And the last question, this is a little bit less related to speed, but also kind of does have something to do with speed. And this is from Vincent, who's in Ireland. Now, Vincent is a parent. I'm going to paraphrase this. I have a daughter who's 13 and a half years old, and she runs. She's an 800-meter runner, and also kind of does some sprints. We're from Ireland. In her last competition, she won well this time of year. Last year, she came in third in this competition, and this year she was 100 yards in front of the winner. So it sounds like she's doing awesome, which is really, really cool. One big issue that she has is every race she gets very nervous and moody. Even if the race is maybe an hour and a half away, she thinks it's the next minute, and she thinks she has to be ready or she'll miss it. She thinks she has to start her warm-up then. So do you have tips to calm her down or calm her nerves, as I believe this takes a lot out of her? You're right. It probably takes a ton out of her. I don't know your daughter, and I'm guessing that because she's good, she's starting to feel like now she has to be better, and she's maybe putting some pressure on herself, and that's something that you can help with. This is a really big question, and I don't know your daughter, so we're not going to sit here and pretend to figure it all out in one simple answer. But this is a really easy question to answer. We have an amazing course from a sports psychologist named Haley Perlis that's on the iyca.org website called the Mental Toughness Training Course. And it is perfect for parents and coaches to get great ideas on how to handle situations like this. In fact, I know that there is information in this. It's not a real expensive course, and it's broken up, where you can kind of choose what you're going to focus on. And I just think that parents of athletes should have this course, and coaches should get this course because it's very practical in nature. It helps you understand, what athletes are going through and what they're thinking, and then like real simple tips and methods to help this. So please, Vincent, check out the Mental Toughness course in iyca.org inside the store. All right. I'm going to email you or put it on the email that's attached to this, a code for this speed training stuff, because I've got other questions. I just don't want to go too long here, but we'll make sure that you get the dates and the promo code so that everything is on there. And if you're watching this way after this, I'm sorry that you missed it. You can still hopefully get some information out of this. But we'll get you all that information because as I'm going through this, I think it's necessary. All right. I will see you guys really soon with some more questions because already more have come in. Hopefully that helped.